Hey guys, this is God of Politics and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be doing another election prediction, and this is for Pete Buttigieg versus Donald Trump. Now, Pete Buttigieg had his day in the sun. He was first place in Iowa for a while. He was up there in New Hampshire, and it looked like if he was able to win Iowa, he could be able to propel himself to the nomination. Now he has been falling in the polls. He's around 7% now, even below Michael Bloomberg. But we're going to assume that he is able to win the Democratic nomination by some miracle at this point if he somehow wins Iowa and then goes on to win New Hampshire and then maybe even wins Nevada. And often what you see is an exchange of support between Warren and Buttigieg and Biden and Buttigieg. A lot of the older support is going from Biden to Buttigieg, but now that is back to Biden. And a lot of it is weirdly going between Warren and Buttigieg. So we'll start off by filling these safe states off for Donald Trump. As always, we'll go through these states: North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, everything except for the 2nd district. We're going to go through Kansas, Oklahoma, Utah, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana. That puts Donald Trump at 125 safe electoral votes. Then Pete Buttigieg would win California, Washington, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., and Illinois. You could argue that maybe Rhode Island goes likely, Delaware goes likely, but for now I'll put it as a safe margin because there's practically no chance that Donald Trump will be able to win those states, even if Pete Buttigieg is the nominee. So that puts Pete Buttigieg at 100, actually, Hawaii too. That puts Pete Buttigieg at 175 safe electoral votes, as actually 176 safe electoral votes to Donald Trump's 125 safe electoral votes. And you'll start filling off from east to west. The poll closed from east to west. You can see here, I think Maine at large will go to Pete Buttigieg by a tilt margin. I don't think he will have as much support in the Northeast as he will in other places. Although they are more white, he is not from that area. He is more from the Midwest. I think Maine's 2nd district will go likely, if not safe. This has been trending red ever since Obama won in 2008. Even before that, it used to be a solidly Democratic district, similar to the way Vermont was, New Hampshire was, Massachusetts was, but now it's becoming a more red district. And I believe that if it were against Pete Buttigieg, Donald Trump would win this state by a likely margin. Going down here to the state of Virginia, I believe he would win lean. He is more of an establishment Democrat. He's a neo-lib. You know, he's got all these new ideas for the Democratic Party, and he's very young. I don't know how that will fare with the establishment in Virginia and all the people there. Like, you've had the Second Amendment protests there and everything. You have a Democratic governor, a Democratic state legislator now. But I think that he will win the state by a lean margin. I think the state of North Carolina will go by a lean margin as well. There's not much chance that this state will go to the Democrats. It went to the Democrats in 2008 the last time, but ever since then, and even before then, it was a Republican state. And I believe that it will go to Donald Trump. A similar margin to what it was last time, maybe a bit smaller of a margin due to how they did in the blue wave last time. That might have a little bit of an impact. Not too much, obviously. They don't really mean anything. But if Pete Buttigieg were the nominee, that new Democratic field might be able to fare well and get it to a lean margin. The state of Georgia, I believe, will go a likely margin. You have all the trends here in the Atlanta suburbs, which will go to Buttigieg, but you won't be able to see Buttigieg turn out black voters. I just don't think he has any ability to do that. You see the new polls coming out from South Carolina. Buttigieg is at like 4%. In all the southern states, he's about 4%. He wouldn't be able to get any support from the black community. I mean, he would get support from the ones that turn out to vote, but a lot of black people do not turn out to vote, and Buttigieg would not be able to inspire them to turn out to vote. Even Obama didn't do it that much. They only got about 50% turnout. So if Buttigieg would be able to do that, to be a better candidate. But as we've seen now, he said he's going to work on it, but so far he has not been doing well amongst the black community. The state of Florida will go lean. It really loves incumbents. Hasn't gone to a non-incumbent since 1924. Donald Trump's approval ratings are at 0 here, which is the same as states like Texas and everything. So he's not doing too bad here in terms of approval ratings, and the polls are actually looking well for him. I think almost all the polls against Buttigieg have him ahead, and it is an incumbency advantage for Trump, and it is his home state now. So I think everything is looking pretty good for Trump there. We forgot New Hampshire. We'll go back up to the state of New Hampshire. I think he'll win it by a tilt margin. You see there's a wider population here, an older population here. I think they might like Buttigieg a bit more because of that. I think that they would probably turn out to vote for him because of that. But again, there's not much I can say about it, other than the fact that if Hillary Clinton was able to win it, I don't see there much being much chance for Donald Trump being able to win it. Although Buttigieg is gay, and that may hurt him amongst some voters. I think in New Hampshire, it's a pretty liberal state in terms of social issues. I think they would end up getting it to him by a tilt margin. Let's just, whoops, send the map here. Donald Trump will win the state of Texas by a likely margin. Pete Buttigieg will not do well in the suburbs at all. I don't think they will vote for a gay white candidate who's 37 years of age. I just don't think they'll do that. Donald Trump's approval ratings are good enough here for him to get an easy majority win and then even turn out the people that don't approve of him. So he will win the state by a likely margin. State of New Mexico will go lean. I also think Colorado will go lean. These are pretty socially liberal states, but they are blue states. They've been trending to the blue column for a while. Donald Trump lost New Mexico by 8 in 2016, but that may be a bit skewed due to Gary Johnson getting 8%, with him also being the former Republican governor of the state. And I think for that reason, both these states will go lean. I just don't see any reason that Trump would be able to flip them even against a candidate like Buttigieg. Hasn't gone red since Cory Gardner went in a red wave, and this is not going to be a red wave like we saw in 2014, even if Donald Trump gets a landslide victory. They're probably not going to take back the House, as I said in my prediction. But both these states, I believe, will go by lean margins, probably 4 points, I'd say, for both of them. The state of Arizona will go lean. There's a lot of trends here. I believe that the only candidate this really could go to for the Democrats is Joe Biden, being more of a moderate, being more of a religious kind of guy, less corporate, if you will, than Hillary Clinton. I don't think Pete Buttigieg would be able to turn out the voters in Maricopa County, the Christian voters, the Mormon voters. He wouldn't be able to turn them out, and for that reason, it will go by a lean margin. We're going over across the Sun Belt here. For that reason, we'll just go up here. I think Donald Trump would be able to flip the state of Nevada by a tilt margin. As I've said before, this was considered a pure toss-up state in 2016. States like Michigan were not considered pure toss-ups, whereas states like Nevada were. But Hillary Clinton won the state of Nevada. But I don't think that Pete Buttigieg would be able to turn out the Latino vote here. You have a high Latino proportion of the population, and for that reason, amongst other reasons, suburban vote, other things like that, the good economy, which is fares well for all of the states for Donald Trump. But he will win the state of Nevada by a tilt margin, and Oregon will go by a likely margin. I've said it's safe for some candidates like Biden and then likely for candidates like Sanders and Warren. But I think that if it's Pete Buttigieg, it'll go by a likely margin. Not much to say about that anyway. Nebraska's second will probably go by a likely margin. Let's just fix Nebraska at large. Nebraska's second will go by a likely margin. It didn't get affected by the red wave. They still have a Republican Congresswoman here. You know, I think it'll go by a likely margin. It'll be similar to states like Iowa, which I believe Iowa will go safe as well as Ohio going safe. I don't believe that there's any chance that Buttigieg would be able to do well here at all. Hillary Clinton lost these both by about 10 points after Obama won them both elections. I think that these will continue the trend towards the red column, although Trump's approval ratings are not very good here. Donald Trump would win these states by a landslide. The state of Minnesota, I think, actually would go to Donald Trump by a tilt margin. Hillary Clinton won it by about 1.5%. They do like weird candidates. They elected people like Ilhan Omar and Paul Ryan, people like that, kind of, different candidates. It did vote for two Democratic senators, Amy Klobuchar by about 30 points, Tina Smith by about 10 points, and that was a blue wave. Obviously, the results are not that skewed towards the Democrats, but Pete Buttigieg, I just don't believe will be able to excite voters, blue-collar voters, especially younger voters. Although he is a young person, I don't think he'd be able to turn them out. And for that reason, the state of Minnesota, would go by tilt margin towards Donald Trump. And then we get to the three Rust Belt states here, the three main states that I'll be talking about the most as the election's rolling around. These are going to be the three most important states. And you have to look especially at the state of Pennsylvania. I do not believe any candidate can win without Pennsylvania, especially the Democrats cannot win without Pennsylvania unless they were able to win the state of Arizona, because I believe that Michigan will go by a tilt margin. Actually, I'll put it at a lean margin. Wisconsin will also go by a lean margin. You see here, even if the Democrats won Minnesota, they wouldn't be able to do it. But Donald Trump will just improve on his lead here by winning Pennsylvania by a lean margin. Michigan will be the closest out of the three of these states here, but the blue collar workers here, although his approval ratings are not too amazing, they will just. I'm not saying a gay person shouldn't be able to be president, but I just do not think that many people in these areas will vote for him. Partially because he's gay, partially because the economy is doing well, and Trump's other good things about him, mainly the economy. People may not like his character, but they'll vote based on the economy. But they may not like Buttigieg's character or his policies. They want to change the economy too much. They want to change social issues too much. And the people in the Rust Belt I just don't think will vote for it. You see that when I predicted Iowa going safe, Ohio going safe. This will continue the trend that it's had going red for a number of years now. Broke the blue wall, what Trump did. Republicans were almost able to win with John James in the Senate seat here. So I think there's a lot of patterns you have to look at as to why these states are turning more red. Clearly, they've trended more red. Donald Trump was able to win them, break the blue wall. After Obama won these states by like 15, 17 points in Michigan, I think it was in 2008. And so this is what the final map will look like, in my opinion. Pete Buttigieg with 216 to Donald Trump's landslide electoral victory of 322. Donald Trump could even win New Hampshire, Virginia, Colorado, New Mexico. And Pete Buttigieg isn't too far away from a victory. See, if he were able to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona, he would win it from that. But I just don't think he'd be able to do that. And all these states would go by lean margins anyway. But yeah, I believe that Donald Trump will win 322 to 216, making him a second-term president, giving him a second term in the White House till 2024. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe as always, and I will see you guys later.